Hello, beautiful soul. Thank you for joining me today. Did you notice I addressed you by your true name, or your true identity, rather? Because you are a soul and you're beautiful. We're going to be thinking about the soul and what the soul actually is, because there are a lot of misconceptions. Our ideas around it might be a little bit airy-fairy or nebulous, and we may have picked up some inaccurate understandings. Can you hear Roy? I just wanted to make sure that you knew it wasn't strange noises coming from my stomach. That's Roy is my pet poodle, if you don't know, if you're new here, and he's sleeping over there on the bed, so he does snore when he's sleeping, but I'm used to it. I just thought you might think it was a bit strange. So Let's Reconnect is the name of my channel. I'm Jill and I'm a Reconnective Healing practitioner. I do Reconnective Healing. I say I do it, I activate it. In fact, I just receive. We come together every Friday to receive Reconnective Healing on our Let's Reconnect live stream, 2 o'clock. That's 1400 hours UK time. I say UK time because it changes, doesn't it? We've just moved into British summertime and can get a little bit confusing because people do it at different times of the year, you know. So I just say check out UK time, and at 2 o'clock I will be here and we chat and talk about whatever's been happening, whatever thoughts are on our minds, any questions you have about the teaching videos I upload, because I'll always put some kind of teaching video up every week, and then on the Friday lives we can chat about them, ask any questions, and then we have a wonderfully blissful interactive kind of bathing in the reconnective healing frequencies. Roy thinks that sounds very relaxing. An immersive experience, that's what I wanted it to be. So I wanted that live stream so that we can build a community where we experience. Okay, it's not just head knowledge, it's heart experience as well. So let's go to these 3 myths about the soul that I'm going to bust, hopefully, today. The first is that you have a soul. So when I greeted you today, I said, welcome, beautiful soul. You are a soul. You don't have a soul. You might think that I'm being really finicky about language here, but language matters because it gives us ideas. It's how we convey meaning, and it can give us that conception that the soul is a kind of appendage, it's an add-on, it's something that perhaps we could even lose. And certainly, depending on your upbringing, depending on your exposure to certain types of religious belief, you may hold the idea that you can lose your soul. People talk about lost souls. So it's important that you know that you are a soul, just you. Also, we can think of the soul as something that we don't really know what it is about ourselves. What is my soul? I don't have a problem understanding who I am because I know me from the inside out. I know my thoughts, I know how I am. But my soul, I don't stop and think about what that is very much. Well, that's the kind of myth busting we're doing, because the I that I know myself to be is the soul. And we could add the soul is so much more than the I know myself to be. But we can explore that a lot more as we continue. I plan to do a series on soul awareness. So I've got like a 6-session plan before me that I intend to do. Do you want me to tell you some of the things that we'll be thinking about? Week 1, what is the soul? 3 myths busting. Week 2, what is soulful living? I might switch these about actually, because week 3 is soul and spirit. What's the difference? I might need to do that one first. Week 4, can the soul perish? Week 5, soul is your light. Talk about the inner light. and then week 6, each soul is unique. So lots to explore in those themes, and it's just opening up themes. And I really want you to ask questions or disagree with me so that there is a kind of debate, not a theoretical debate, but just a discussion, a gentle conversation around these areas, because we're all learning and growing all the time. So, second myth, the soul is in the body. I think when I was little at Sunday school, when we were taught about it, I seem to just remember thinking that I had a body, but I also had a soul, and the soul was in me. It's on the inside of you. You can't see, it's invisible, but it's on the inside. And that was certainly the language that we used, because they used to talk about Jesus coming into your soul as well, accept Jesus into your heart and into your soul. So there was this idea that it was somewhere inside, even though I knew that if you dissected the human body you wouldn't find it. We still thought of it somehow as being inward. And I get that, because we do talk about going inward to find the whole, don't we, to find the light. But there is this idea that I don't know how much the mic is picking up Roy's snoring. It might really ruin this video, but I hope that it just maybe it'll be a little bit ASMR-y. I don't know, a slight rumbling in the background. But the soul is not in the body, rather the body is in the soul. This is the way to think about it. And it's somebody said that. I can't trace who. I seem to have it in my mind that it was Meister Eckhart that said it, but then somebody said it was C.S. Lewis, and then said no, he got it from someone else. It's just one of those sayings, nobody knows the origin, but the body is in the soul. And you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the Leonardo da Vinci drawing of the man. Is it the Venusian man? I can't quite remember. I can't remember the name of it. And where it's a diagram of a drawing of a person, a sketch of a human body, and the arms are outstretched and the legs are outstretched, and then there's a circle around it, and it's just showing the dimensions of how to draw the human form, and how those proportions are all kind of mathematically aligned with other parts of the body. So for example, if you stretch your arms out wide, I can't do it here because there's a wall over here, but if you would stretch your arms out wide and someone measures from one fingertip to the other fingertips, then that's the height of the person. So it hints at this immense, intricate, deliberate design to the human form, like the sacred geometry of it all. And that image came to mind when I was thinking about this soul being outside the body almost. The body is in the soul. It's as though it's a little cocoon. The soul is almost holding the body, and it's quite nice to think of that we're being held by the soul. It also explains how if you go into a room, your soul goes in before you. It expands outside of you so people can pick up your energy, sense what kind of person you are. They can sense if you're in a bad mood. They can sense if you're, they can sense your light and just, your vibrational resonance. So that's all in your soul. A psychic can read the story of your soul and tell you things about yourself. You say, how did you know that? So, the soul is outside the body. And Rupert Sheldrake, this has just come to mind, the scientist Rupert Sheldrake has done some work on this. He calls it the morphic field. There's something called morphic resonance, whereby the pet owners, funny that I'm talking about that while Roy is over here, they can sense things. And they can sense when you're coming home and things like that, because you have this sort of telepathy with your pets, with your loved ones also. And he's done scientific research on that. So more and more the soul life, if you like, the life of the soul, the reality of the soul, is being affirmed scientifically. The third myth I'm going to bust is that the soul can perish. No, it can't. I know what the BS says, the belief systems. I'm quite familiar with them myself. This idea that you might be a lost soul, or that some souls will be lost, some will be saved. The soul is eternal, and we're going to talk about that more actually in one of the future videos about the belief systems and eternal damnation and all of that. We're going to bust that myth completely. But the soul cannot be harmed. This is the main thing to say. We are hurt, we are harmed by life's experiences. So your experience of life, you might say, is one that will cause you wounding and trauma, and that those are deep rooted, deep inside you, and that they need healing. And that's true. Somehow the soul is unaffected by that. The soul doesn't carry the wounding. So we'll think more about what we mean by that, and whether we carry wounding and trauma from when we leave the body, and how we work through that and how it's healed. But the soul itself, the essential part of you, I find this really comforting, this teaching actually. The essential part of you is not hurt, is not wounded. And the nicest illustration I've heard is by Rupert Spira. He may not have, it may not have originated with him. He might have got it from someone else, but he talks about the screen, like a movie screen, and how when you go to the cinema you watch a movie, and you might be watching an action movie, you might watch a horror movie, you might watch a comedy or a romance, and all those different stories play out on that big white screen. And of course the people watching get entirely immersed in the drama of it and believe it and experience all the emotions that go with that story. And then everybody goes away and the lights go out and the auditorium is empty and the screen is unharmed. It's there again, just a white screen, unblemished. Doesn't carry the markings or wounds or any trace of what has played out upon it, what's been projected upon it. And that's the way to think about this life that we're living. Some people use the idea of dreams, don't they? The ego is a dream the soul is having. The soul is a dream that spirit is having, and spirit is a dream that source is having. So this kind of like Russian dolls, of dream within dreams within dreams. So let that bring you some comfort. I find it quite comforting to know the soul is safe. The soul is safe. And what did we say at the beginning? You are the soul. So that means you are safe. And so if anything, hear that today. I'm going to try and help you just connect with the essential aspect of you, the essential soul that is you, with a little I nearly said Reconnective Healing. We're doing that later today because I'm recording this on a Friday, with a little visualization. So I'm going to read to you and invite you to just find a quiet place. I'm going to lead you in a visualization now, and it's actually a visualization I wrote in this book. I don't know if you can see that because of the light reflecting. Imagine and Reflect, it's called. And these are guided visualizations for children. I wrote them for children because the intention was originally they'd be used in schools. I have used these in schools before when I was teaching full time, but they can easily be used in other contexts, and I am going to use this one today for ours. It's called The Self. Take a few deep breaths. Just center yourself. Remember that you are a soul. And today we're going to play with the idea of the self. Yourself. the self that belongs to you. The I of I am, when you say something about yourself. Let's start with the obvious, the name we give the self. I am Jill. That is my name. Now do the same, adding your own name. I am. Using imagination now, let's take the I of I am for a walk around the body. Let's start with the toes. Bring all your awareness to your toes with the understanding that my toes are a part of myself. We could say, I am the toes. Then the knees. Bring all your awareness to your knees. I am the knees. Then the thighs and the lower body. Bring your awareness there. Feel the weight of your upper body bearing down upon it, and the sensation of the hardness of the chair beneath. I am the body. Let's jump now to the hands. Firstly the right hand, then the left. In fact, let's have some fun. Let's bounce the awareness back and forth between the left and right. Left, right, left, right. Are you keeping up? And all the way to the fingertips. Can you feel them tingle now the I am awareness is in the fingers? Let's move now into the body. Let's move now back into the body, up the spine, along the neck and into the head. We'll spend a bit of time here getting really familiar with awareness sensations. I am the lips, the cheeks, the nose, the earlobes, the eyelids, the forehead, the tiny hair follicles on the top of my head. What if we keep going above the head? Let's try it. What's happened now? The me has split. The I of I am has separated from the body. That's strange. It takes some getting used to. The I am is now about 1 meter above the head, looking down. How do things look from this angle? Can you see your hair from above? And your shoulders? And those hands placed gently on your knees? How does it feel to be you up here, looking down on you below? Move awareness now to the front of the body and take a look at your own face. The closed eyelids, the lips, the cheeks, neck, nose, and forehead, the earlobes. Move closer now, so close that you can hear yourself breathing. You are now close enough to whisper in your ear without anyone else hearing. If you were to whisper something, what would it be? Now it's time to slip back inside the body. Take the I am awareness back into the head, sinking down into the chest, the heart, the stomach, the legs, the knees, the feet and the toes. Back to where we began. In your own time, open your eyes, just become aware of your surroundings, and I hope that gave you an immersive experience of feeling at home in your soul, knowing that the body and the soul are like an envelope. The soul is a cocoon for the body, nurturing the body, the link to the lifeline that is spirit, if you like, but we'll talk more about that another time. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, please ask in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday. You might want to check out these videos. YouTube knows you very well, knows exactly what you want to listen to next, and so have a little look up here, and here also will be one of my latest ones, so that you know whereabouts I am on my journey. It changes all the time, but yeah, check out one of these two videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.